6 North Carolina leaders proposing new rules to protect you from your homeowner association. Now, the changes come after WBTV's years-long investigation into complaints you guys have called us about regarding your HOAs.
Investigative reporter David Hodges is on your side with new changes that lawmakers want to implement to level the playing field.
Homeowners often feel they're powerless when taking on their HOA, and lawmakers of Raleigh have now seen your stories and are taking steps to even the playing field. The House Select Committee on HOAs has come up with 5 main proposals, including giving HOAs a 30-day limit to produce records that are available to homeowners. There would be new standards for approving assessments if they're increasing by more than 10%. Another proposal would force homeowners and HOAs into mediation to settle disputes that often end up in court. And another major one would create new standards for HOAs to foreclose on homeowners, including allowing an installment payment schedule to catch up on late fees. The committee has found so many issues to address that they're considering making this HOA committee a permanent part of the legislature to look at these HOA issues and get data on complaints.
Do you feel like that there is any issues that were brought up repetitively by the homeowners that was not able to be addressed in this bill?
I know that down the road, once we get the data back, we can see what else is there and what the volume might be.
And they're expecting a lot of volume. The committee will bring its recommendation to the entire House on March 1st and will follow along to see whether the homeowner protections proposed make it through or get gutted along the way. Reporting in the studio, David Hodges, WBTV, on your side.